Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. Today has been a very exciting day in the crypto space after a couple days where we didn't see a lot of movement or a lot of news either direction. So let's jump into it. As always, we're gonna take a look at the markets, then we're gonna read some analysis of the markets, and then we're gonna go over to some news articles that you can already see open up here. Let's start by just quickly refreshing CoinMarketCap for the most accurate, up-to-date information. Now, as you can see, and if you're watching my video, you probably already know, we saw the markets spike up like crazy today. At one point, they were up about 10% in total. They have since corrected a bit and are now pretty stable at about 5% up over yesterday. We see the total market cap at 212 billion. For the past 3 or 4 days, it was hanging around 202 billion. And the really big change we see here is the 24-hour volume, which was just under 10 billion, and now we see it at 21 billion after a day of very active trading. Now here, every single major cryptocurrency is up, with the notable exception of Tether. And we're going to talk about what is going on here in a moment. But everything up here, and in the top 10, the biggest gainer today is XRP, up 6.02%. Like all others, it has also pulled back a bit. Earlier, I believe it was up 10%, but 6% is still very nice. And as we go down here, we see pretty much everything very much in the green. So that is looking very beautiful today. Nothing has changed about the order of tokens. That has all remained more or less the same, because as we see here, everything has gained 3 to 6%, all the major ones. So nothing has really outpaced other stuff. Bitcoin is ever so slightly outpacing the rest of the crypto markets, but not by that much. It has managed to increase its dominance from 54.3%, I believe it was yesterday, to 54.4%. So a tiny change there. As you see here, up 5.31% when most others are up 3 or 4. That is a bit of an outpacing of the rest, but not all that much. Notable here, XRP volume is at almost a billion again after a couple days at around 400 million. And Bitcoin is well over the 4 billion it was sitting at for a while now, at 7 billion. But let's read some analysis from people who are much more well informed and who have all the technical skills that I am missing. All the articles we're reading will of course be linked in the description as always, and there's some other stuff in the description as well. If you wanna support the channel, there's like ways to do that with my Patreon and stuff like that. Another shout out to my Patreon supporters, you're the best people in the whole world. But let's read this together, shall we? Bitcoin spiked 11% Monday, likely due to a sell-off in Tether, but a bullish reversal is still not confirmed, technical charts indicate. The leading cryptocurrency jumped to a 2.5-month high of $7,788 at 6:45 UTC on Bitfinex, the cryptocurrency exchange that manages USDT developer Tether LLC. Interestingly, the stablecoin was down 2% just before Bitcoin picked up a bit at 5 and fell further to an 18-month low at 92 cents at 7, as per CoinMarketCap. Now this of course is not supposed to happen. The entire point of a stablecoin, the entire point of Tether, is to be tied to $1. It's always supposed to be very close to $1 in value. Usually we only see it move between 99 cents and 101. Seeing it fall to 92 cents, that is rather shocking there. And back to the article. The unusual drop indicates investors have moved money out of Tether and into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, possibly on a fresh round of doubts over whether the stablecoin is fully backed by dollars. Further, there's evidence of growing interest in emerging stablecoins like Paxos Standard, TrueUSD and Gemini Dollar, which all reported gains during the sell-off. Keep in mind here that these are all cryptocurrencies that have been gaining ground in the stablecoin gain. Now Tether is very much still the stablecoin with by far the largest market cap, but these have been gaining on it. More importantly, the majority of the rapid gains in Bitcoin likely happened via trading on Bitfinex, where prices rose well above $7,000. Notably, the premium carried by Bitcoin prices on Bitfinex rose above $600 early in the European day, Meanwhile, on non-Tether enabled platforms like Coinbase's GDAX, prices only peaked above $6,800. At press time, Bitcoin's average price across various exchanges, as calculated by CoinDesk's Bitcoin Price Index, is $6,510, representing a 4.6% gain on a 24-hour basis. On Bitfinex, the leading cryptocurrency is trading at $6,837, while on Coinbase it is changing hands at $6,824, meaning Bitcoin is still trading at a premium of $400 on Bitfinex. The Coinbase number seems wrong. They might have twisted the numbers here, because that is then not a $400 premium. That is a $13 premium. The daily charts here, as seen in the above chart, Bitcoin's rally has neutralized the immediate bearish view put forward by last week's downside break of the rising trend line. However, a bullish reversal would be confirmed only after the cryptocurrency has found acceptance above the September 4 high of $7,402. Moreover, bulls are not out of the woods yet, as the following key resistance levels are still intact. And those are $6,462 level, that is the trend line falling from the July high, then $6,823, which is the last high we saw on September 22nd, and $7,090, which is the trend line between the March and July highs. Meanwhile, major support is seen at $6,150, $6,000 and $5,777, so it seems safe to say that there's more room on the downside than upside. And their view ultimately is: the immediate outlook is neutral, and the pullback from highs above $6,800 has kept the bears in the game. A UTC close above $7,090 would boost the prospects of bullish reversals above $7,402. On the downside, a move below $6,150 would put the bears back into the driver's seat, allowing a drop to June lows of below $5,800. The important takeaway here is that after the market has been very much showing bearish sentiments, we are back into neutral territory now. Neutral is one step away from bullish, so let's see if we can cross over to a bull market. It's looking more likely for us to return to a bear market at this point than to go into a bull one. Because first of all, there is more price we need to cross to get back into a bull market, at least by these signifiers. And secondly, the main reason presented for these movements today are not about any main sentiments about the markets in general or any news about the markets in general, but because there are issues with Tether and people were apparently pulling out of it. That seems to be what happened here. Tether is very controversial for a lot of reasons, but it is heavily involved with Bitfinex, and Bitfinex has been having liquidity issues, so now people are scared that that Tether, which is supposed to be backed by US dollars, but which to my knowledge has not been independently verified. It has not been independently verified if it is actually backed by dollars. That is just a claim that Bitfinex are making, or that Tether LLC is making, who are involved with Bitfinex. So people are worried, and if I made a mistake just now, if they have been independently verified, I'm very sorry about that. To my knowledge, they have not. So do your own research instead of just listening to what I'm saying here. I try to get my information accurate, and if I don't know something, I will generally say that clearly, that I'm not sure about something. But even if I don't mention that I'm not completely sure about something, always make sure to do your own research and don't just listen to me. Anyway, that seems to be what happened here. Anyway, continuing on, we have a rundown of some recent Ripple news from investinblockchain.com, and it's 3 pieces of news, some of them bigger, some of them smaller. Let's read them together. Ripple is reportedly in talks with the Trump administration, as first reported by BreakerMag. In a lengthy and revealing interview that shed light on Ripple's vision and its products, Chief Marketing Strategist Corey Johnson said that the organization has had numerous conversations with the administration, with the latter being assuaged by the fact that there is no mining associated with XRP. The most interesting segment from the interview came as a response to what Johnson thought of the Trump administration's understanding of the Ripple product. Johnson said that there was a lot of research going on in the background. His quote, "The White House in particular seems to be thinking about what it means to have 80% of Bitcoin mining taking place in China and a majority of Ether mining taking place in China, and in conversations we've had with the administration, they seem to get that and think that might matter." In the talks with the Trump administration, Johnson revealed that the absence of mining in the Ripple network has calmed the nerves of administration officials who fear influence and environmental consequences as a result of large-scale mining operations. While he was coy about the details of the discussions, he did claim that several talks have been held with lawmakers. And another quote, "So we haven't said who we've talked to, but we're in regular talks throughout Washington and we meet with regulators as well as politicians. We've got a whole team that's devoted to doing that, not just in the US, but worldwide. Our regulatory team, they jump on planes like their pants are on fire." Tackling criticism regarding concerns around Ripple's lack of decentralization, Johnson says that there is a lot of unclear information floating around on social media. He also took a shot at the crypto media for bias and refusing to correct misleading information. This is what I've been saying. And his quote, "We haven't had great journalism in this sector. Yes, 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 outline this a million times. There have been exceptions, but there's a lot of reliance on Twitter and individual blogs from sources with deeply conflicting agendas. It's hard for someone to write an article that gives XRP the benefit of the doubt or says, hey, this could be good, when they have personal investments in Bitcoin." He went on to liken Ripple and XRP to Chevron and oil. He emphasized that XRP is a believer and facilitator. They meant Ripple here. He emphasized that Ripple is a believer and facilitator of the XRP token, but does not control it. And his quote once again, "It's the same as oil and Chevron. Chevron has a vested interest in oil. You can buy shares in Chevron like crazy and it doesn't give you any right to the world's oil. You can buy every barrel of oil you can find, but that doesn't give you any rights to Chevron. All that applies to Ripple and XRP. Ripple doesn't control XRP. XRP is decentralized in a way Ripple can't control it even if we wanted to. People say Ripple is centralized because we control XRP validators. Well, we don't. We operate 10 validators, there are 150 known to be out there. Or they say it's centralized because we own a lot of it, we own about 60% of it." Now, what he didn't add here, but what you have to keep in mind with the amount that they own, is that a large part of it is permanently locked away in escrow. They cannot just use it to flood the market, to pump the coin, or to crash it. That is not the kind of control that they can impact the market with. But anyway, this first part here, now I think we can, regardless of what you personally think about the Trump administration or Trump in general, I don't want this to be a political channel. As you might have noticed, I'm staying away from any value judgments about individual politicians or policies that don't have to do with crypto. I think crypto is something where people of all political affiliations can come together and believe in this shared superior future with new technologies, new opportunities for everyone. So I don't want to get into personal political opinions here. I think whatever you think about Trump or his administration, hearing that the White House is in close contact with Ripple is very, very reassuring. That probably means Ripple is not going to be the recipient of any tough stipulations, of any negative of any restricting laws or negative judgments in the near future. It very much sounds from these interviews. Now keep in mind this is one side of the conversation. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. This is just one side of the conversation. We haven't heard the White House's opinions from them, but this is sounding like they're generally positive and reassured about Ripple and XRP. And they are bringing up an important point here. As we talked about yesterday, Bitcoin mining is heavily concentrated in China, and Ether is also becoming more and more concentrated there. China could potentially destroy those blockchains if they wanted to in the future. They could crash those currencies if they wanted to. Now that is not saying that they ever will, but there are some who believe they have very good reasons and might be plotting to do that at some point in the future. With a token that is pre-mined, where there's no mining going on, you also don't have the same capacities for individual people gaining too much power and destroying them. Anyway, that was the first bit of news. Here we have more. There has been another informal Twitter survey, as we talked about another one yesterday. In this one, XRP won even more, but this is This one isn't that important. Let's talk about it anyways. In another bit of good news for the project and its investors, a recent Virex survey indicates that the demand for the Ripple token is steady despite wild price fluctuations in the market. Virex is a cryptocurrency exchange that serves nearly 2 million users, allowing them to trade cryptocurrency at no cost and providing them with a contactless Visa payment card for transactions at merchant stores. Currently, it allows users to purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin. Virex is sponsoring the Payments Race, a marathon where runners represent different payment methods. Max Myler, the runner representing Team Crypto, sought Virex's help in deciding which cryptocurrency should be his first purchase. The subsequent informal survey conducted via Twitter saw over 75% of users supporting XRP. Now what we see here again is that XRP just has a very strong Twitter community who vote in these things, but once again we have another poll here with just about 5,000 votes where XRP is the clear winner. Now this isn't a clear indication or representative of the crypto markets as a whole, but it clearly shows us that there is a lot of enthusiasm behind XRP. All of these tokens have strong Twitter communities, but XRP still manages to win these polls so easily. That says a lot about XRP's community. XRP's community is very, very active and very, very excited, and that is always good to see in another poll like this. And last up, some news about Cobalt, which a lot of people are working for and which is apparently under active development still, but we have no release date for, and apparently it's not coming anytime soon. A former employee of Ripple, Ethan McBrow, I probably mispronounced that, I'm very sorry about that, has spoken on the team's progress of Ripple Cobalt, an algorithm that would greatly accelerate transaction capability. McBrow, who authored Ripple's Cobalt paper, is now the lead scientist at Coil, a platform focused on supporting content creators with XRP as its unit of value, and started by former Ripple Chief Technology Officer Stefan Thomas. I, by the way, am signed up to Coil as well now. If you are one of the trial members of Coil, Coil is still in beta to my knowledge. They're slowly letting in more and more people. If you are part of that trial, if you're already signed up, then you are also supporting this channel every minute that you spend watching my videos, so thank you very much. McBrow communicated his assessment of the upgrade's progress in a response to a tweet saying, "There is no release date planned, and if there were, it wouldn't be soon." So what we're seeing here is that there's a lot of development still necessary on Cobalt. Cobalt would greatly increase the speed and capacities of Ripple, of the XRP token in particular. I believe it would get it up to 50,000 transactions per second and transaction speed to under 1 second, while I believe right now they take a couple seconds. Ripple's technology is very fast, but it can be made even faster, and that is what they're working on. So we see they're still actively working on that, just no release date yet. Anyway, continuing on, we have some new projects. Apple's Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of the company with, oh my god, I forgot his name. Oh my god, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, the two Steves. He now co-founded a blockchain-focused venture capital fund, which is particularly notable because just a couple months ago, he was very negative about cryptocurrencies. So he seems to have changed his mind. Let's read this. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has been announced as a co-founder of recently launched blockchain-focused venture capital fund Equi Global. Global business outlet Verdict reports Monday. Following an announcement about his plans to become involved in a blockchain project earlier in August, Wozniak has been revealed today as a co-founder of Equi Global, a venture capital fund focusing on blockchain technology and built on a blockchain-powered backend. The new venture capital fund aims to change the concept of the traditional industry by enabling non-institutional investments, as well as allowing investors to trade on external crypto exchanges via Equi tokens. The Equi tokens infrastructure is reportedly based on the Ethereum blockchain, which is widely used by decentralized apps. According to Verdict, Equi Global will target sophisticated investors that are focused on venture capital funds through investing in Equi tokens. The model intends to facilitate the trading experience by allowing for the easy liquidation of tokens through cryptocurrency exchanges. The report further notes that 80% of Equi Global's investments will be put in technology companies, while the rest will be invested in other fields like real estate and art. As Wozniak stated, the company's mission is to seek, support and fund the blockchain and tech stars of tomorrow. Wozniak noted that the company has already partnered with over 20 businesses that have not been launched officially. Wozniak also emphasized that his participation in Equi Global is about the second time in 20 years when he has agreed to be involved in a project, while he has been receiving dozens of business offers and ideas every single day. According to Equi Global's website, the company was set up nearly a year ago from press time, while the idea of Equi's model has changed since the initial launch. Originally, the founders were considering launching the company as an ICO that used the Equi token as a means to raise capital on a project-by-project basis. By co-founding a firm supporting blockchain and crypto technology, Wozniak has appeared to change his skeptical stance to the field, following his recent statement that blockchain is a bubble similar to that of the dot-com area. Oh my god, let me just reread that entire sentence. By co-founding a firm that supports blockchain and crypto technology, Wozniak has appeared to change his skeptical stance to the field, following his recent statement that blockchain is a bubble similar to that of the dot-com era, as he claimed in June of 2018. However, earlier in June, Wozniak also spoke positively about Bitcoin, arguing that only Bitcoin is pure digital gold. Now, I don't want to talk about that Bitcoin statement right now. About that bubble one, you have to keep in mind that just saying that you believe cryptocurrency to currently be a bubble like in the dot-com era, that is not actually critical of cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, because if you're likening it to the dot-com bubble, that wasn't a bubble because computer technology and internet technology wasn't legitimate. That was a bubble because too much money flowed into it too quickly and was wasted on bad projects. And there's a very good argument to be made that cryptocurrency might currently be in a similar bubble that needs to burst before cryptocurrency can mature and then reach its true potential. So I believe saying that blockchain is currently a bubble similar to the dot-com era is not at all an attack on cryptocurrencies. It just means it's a very young market that has a lot of growing to do and that might have to crash once in order to be able to do it. Continuing on, Binance has announced a while ago that it's expanding into Africa, and now we have it happening in a very major way. Binance Uganda officially launched, pairs the Ugandan shilling with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Back in late June, the team at Binance had announced their intentions of opening operations in Uganda. The main goal of opening an exchange in the African country was that Binance wished to expand its reach not only in developed countries, but to those less developed and with the potential to grow into thriving markets. When the announcement was made in June, registrations were open immediately, with the first 20,000 users to register on binance.co.ug being rewarded with 0.5 Binance coin. The team at Binance also promised zero trading fees as soon as the platform was live and running. It is with this background that the Binance team wishes to let the crypto trading community that full sign-up and deposits are now live on the platform. Wishes to let the crypto trading community know, I assume it's supposed to be. This is the thing with crypto news. You'll any paragraph will have at least one incomplete sentence in there. Some of these pages need to get an editor. Come on guys, get an editor. I love your news, but get an editor. Make sure you have full sentences. The announcement goes on to state that full trading will open on the 17th of October, with Bitcoin and Ethereum being paired with the Ugandan shilling. The announcement stated the following. Fellow Binanceans, that is a funny name, we are delighted to announce the official launch of Binance Uganda Exchange. Users are now able to complete full account verification in the user center after logging in. Deposits for Ugandan shillings, Bitcoin and Ether will open starting from the 17th at 10 AM Ugandan time. Trading on Binance Uganda will soon open with Bitcoin Ugandan shilling and Ether Ugandan shilling trading pairs. The start time for trading will be released in a later announcement. Ugandan shilling is the currency of Uganda. Thanks for your support, Binance Uganda team. So we see here major expansion into Africa. Africa, of course, is seen by many people to be the world market, the untapped, largely untapped market with the most potential in the next couple of years, especially for cryptocurrencies. So this was bound to happen sooner or later. It's nice to see multiple major crypto exchanges slowly but surely moving into Africa. And last but not least, we have Sony jumping headfirst into blockchain by building a digital rights management system on a blockchain. And we're going to read this as well, and then I'm going to let you guys go for today. Japanese electronic giant Sony has developed a new blockchain-based digital rights management system that may see commercial rollout. According to a press release from the firm on Monday, the system will help manage copyright-related information for digital content, citing educational content as a prime use case. The firm states that with content rights management currently largely being carried out manually by industry organizations or the creators themselves, its new system is designed to make that process more efficient. Using the platform, participants will be able to share and verify information such as date and time of creation and the author's details. It will also automatically verify the rights generation of a piece of written works, the firm adds. Digital content such as ebooks, music, video, virtual reality content and more are set to be supported by the new system, which is based on a similar system developed by the conglomerate previously. Sony says it is now considering the possible commercialization of the system as a service. The Japan-based firm is no stranger to blockchain innovation. Last month, research by IPR Daily, a media outlet specializing in intellectual property, showed that Sony is in the top 30 companies for blockchain-related patents, having filed at least 20 applications. Notably, some of those point towards the direction Sony has taken with the system announced today. As CoinDesk reported in April, one of the patents filed with the US Patent and Trademark Office describes a concept that stores digital rights data using blockchain. The company has also filed for inventions, including a system to authenticate user data and manage education data. So we see another tech giant filling yet another patent in the blockchain realm. Appears to be this one is not using a token, but why would it for this use case? Interesting use for blockchain. I believe I've seen DRM uses before. With DRM you have to ask the question if, or rather I think a lot of people will feel this way, that this might go against the promise of decentralized technology and of blockchains in general, because the whole idea of DRM is heavily criticized, especially for how it has often been implemented in a very strict way that limits the access people have to media that they bought, that they paid for, that they legally own. So I'm unsure how to feel about this. I'm personally not the biggest friend of DRM. Especially Sony is, to my knowledge, also one of these companies that have used it in a very restrictive and very shady way before. But we don't have details here, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm just going to leave you guys with that question on today's video. Is DRM the kind of use for blockchain that we should be striving for, or does this go against the spirit of decentralized systems in general? Anyway, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I do these videos every single day, so make sure to subscribe if you want to get them on your YouTube subscription box. Damn, my English today. If you like my videos and would like to support the channel, I have a Patreon where you can donate either $1 or $3 a month, and you do get some small perks for that, so do check the link in the description. Also in the description are donation addresses for a few major cryptocurrencies, and all the links to these articles and my social media links and an email address where you can ask questions that I may or may not read out in a question and answer video at some point. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.